sure we tighten up for the cameras here. Welcome to an all-new episode of the No Rules Podcast. I'm Aaron Hilton, as always, joined by my main man, Malik Smith. Malik, happy Valentine's weekend, my brother. How was it?
Oh, it was good, man. It was good, man. How was yours?
Oh, mine was great. Mine was great, man. You know, I got some good gifts for the lady. I got real busy at work, in the restaurant business. That is my main job in the restaurant business. Valentine's Day is a major holiday. Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, it gets crazy. It was definitely a busy weekend, but I'm glad that I was able to do something special for the missus.
What'd you do? I mean, what were we talking here? How big are you going for Valentine's Day?
With the two main F's, flowers and fragrances. First of all, my fiance is like super duper nosy, like silver sleuthy type of shit, wants your location all the time. So it's like, I can't just go to like a flower shop and pick up flowers. Cause you never know. Like, it's not like she watches it all the time, but you never know. She might just accidentally like look at my location and be like, what's he doing at a flower shop? I was like, I don't want to see. Cause we're not big on Valentine's Day. Like me or her. I'm not a very festive guy, but I told her, I was like, I just want to celebrate you whenever I possibly can. So I tried to do something special for Valentine's Day, or at least something to commemorate the day. What about you? What'd you get for the missus, man?
This is gonna be a little controversial, but I feel like Valentine's Day, I did get her flowers. I got her candy. But it's like, what did she get me? That's the real question. You know what I'm saying?
Trick on me. Again, we said this
Trick
episode, we're the prize.
We're the prize.
Like, I don't know how many times we have to say this. We are the prize, like, honestly.
She got me a card, which was nice. And that was about it. Yeah,
I got the goose egg, bro.
Hey.
So you get more than me.
It was the thought that really counted.
Yeah, that's all I got was the thought that counts.
That's all you could count.
It's like, damn, where's my man flowers? You know what I'm saying? Let me get some roses or something.
I've been dropping the Rolex for several years now.
I'll just throw on our heads, just like walk by everyone and be like, Rolex.
They say the Rolex is the male diamond. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but soon though. Soon.
Just be like, oh, I just love watches. Sending her the social media post from the Super Bowl of like all the celebrities in their watches, like Tom Brady with his like $300K watch and shit. Like, damn,
yeah.
I would have killed him with that Rolex. Woo.
One day. Hopefully next year.
That gets into like kind of the theme that I want to get into to start. We're recording this obviously a few days after Valentine's weekend, but we were influenced, if not inspired, by our boy Maurice. Shout out to the FMFU podcast. If you haven't listened already, follow, like, comment, subscribe. Go listen to my man Maurice Brown's FMFU podcast. Very funny, very good pod, and he does it all solo. Super talented kid. One of the main themes of his most recent episode was, the theme of Black love and how we get caught up in double standards. And I think the specific analogy he used was with Serena Williams and her white husband. And with that, I just wanted to, obviously we kick it off, start celebrating our Black love and our beautiful Black women. But I gotta ask, man, have you ever dipped in the Yakub pool, or is this strictly Malcolm X type of shit?
Malcolm X he was skiing out there too. You know what I'm saying? People don't remember that.
That was Detroit Red did that. Malcolm X wasn't doing that.
Once he changed his name,
that was Malcolm Little did that.
He lost the body count.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, me personally, I've been strictly Black. But I will say this: I don't judge people who. I am totally all for interracial relationships. Shout out to people that are into interracial relationships. I feel like love is love. I love Black love, obviously, and I celebrate Black love. I think it's important to have Black love. But I'm not going to downplay somebody who found somebody that they love and tell them, like, oh, well, you should feel ashamed. You should walk around and, like, not hold hands. It's like, it feels kind of weird to me.
And there's, like, that famous quote in Don't Be a Menace. It's like, I'm going to do to them what the white man has done to us for 40 years or whatever, 400 plus years. Fuck them. There's not a whole lot else that I would get out of that situation, but like that's me personally. I would lay with them, but it was never going to go beyond that because there was just a certain level of familiarity that I needed to have. I didn't want to be watching like a Dave Chappelle stand up and like I'm laughing and then you laughing, but I got to look at you and be like, why are you laughing? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't want to have to deal, I don't want to have to deal with that.
You don't want to be listening to some rap music and be like, nigga, nigga, nigga. And it's like, wait, hold on.
But yeah, like that's what it's always been to me. And I mean, some people might think that's really, really shallow. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just my mentality behind the whole situation. That's why I have chosen not to. So for anybody that I've ever dated seriously, it's been a black woman. But yeah, I've dipped in the cool pool once or twice.
Yo, we was in Connecticut for a while, bro. I don't know if you remember. Well, I don't even know
I'm
if you was.
from Rhode Island, so it's like really,
It's really
it's a
amazing that
miracle
you.
that I didn't marry a white woman. There was a lot of there was a lot of family members that would have taken the under on that for
Hey,
sure.
you beat the
A
odds,
couple
my
of them.
brother. You beat the
You know what I'm
odds.
saying? We did it.
I remember back in them Connecticut days, man. I'd be on Tinder, and I was like, just swipe, swipe. I mean, it was just white woman after white woman after white woman. And the thing is, I was swiping right on some of them. Never got a swipe back. You know what I'm saying? Never connected.
What?
Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
so y'all must
They
not be
didn't want to
feeling me.
dip in the They didn't want a beautiful chocolate, man. That's kind of crazy, honestly.
I
You
apparently not. I
Tinder?
didn't feel no type
How
of way.
does that work? Because I've never, Tinder, Bumble, all of that. Like,
Really?
I've never really. I just felt like that's how niggas get kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? Like
You've
the
never
one scenario where a nigga would get never done it once.
you've
I've
never
been
used
single
an
for most
online
of my
dating app.
life. I've never one time. I will be the one that ends up on like the Hulu documentary. I don't want that. I'm too big to end up on Hulu, bro.
Nah, that's true. That it would be embarrassing for you.
You know what I'm saying? You
Um,
chop me up and put me in a fucking briefcase, and now you want an elevator whistling
it,
Dixie and shit, and I'm just chopped up in your bag. Like, nah, I can't
yeah,
do that.
it doesn't work like that. Well, typically it doesn't work like that. But I will
Nah.
say, when I was using it, it was the most useful time for actually finding someone. This was what 2017, and I actually was very much against online dating. And then broke up with someone that I was with, and I was like, oh, let's just see what all the fuss is about. And that's how I met Shannon. You know,
Oh,
yeah,
shout
yeah,
out to
yeah.
y'all, man.
Listen,
Damn,
hit a home run first time at the plate, man.
killed it. Hey, man. And what app was this? This
This
was
was Tinder. This was Tinder.
Tinder.
We
Hey,
joke,
man,
we joked that
Tinder.
Tinder should have they should have sponsored our wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like they should have did
100%.
something. You know what I mean?
Y'all a happy family. Y'all living in New York. That's like the
Yeah.
number one market. How do they not have this story right now? They should have
Yeah,
you on posters, billboards.
that's what I'm saying. But actually, I don't know if
Beautiful.
I don't know if I want all that now. Like,
Nah, yeah.
yeah,
You don't want the fame and fortune. The fame, yeah.
nah. I don't want people to be like, yo, they lied to me. These these motherfuckers said I was gonna find somebody. This guy right here. I'll be like, whoa, hold on.
Malik, it was Malik Smith. He said,
He said all
"Where's
the
my
women on
shit?
there were.
Where's my shit?"
Sorry, guys, took the last one. But
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, man, shout out to online dating, man. Sometimes it works, but I do
Yeah,
feel like
sometimes you
online
don't
dating.
die, so that's good.
I feel like online dating definitely had a interesting racial undertones going on there. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of, and I've heard this from other people. Black women specifically said it is really hard to find other black men on online dating apps because black men weren't really looking for them. I don't know what it's like now. I mean, I assume people just go online dating just to hook up, but back in my day, as an old man, you know what I'm saying, it worked.
All you need is to be right one time. So shout out to
Exactly.
Shannon. Shout out to Tinder. For getting it right. Tinder sponsored this man. For your 10-year anniversary or something like that. Maybe they could pay for y'all to get a little
Yeah,
trip
yeah,
going or
yeah.
something like that.
We'll
We'll work
write
on
to
it.
him. We'll write to him.
Yeah, well, our people will talk to their people. Along with it being Valentine's weekend, Malik, it was also NBA All-Star weekend. I personally think I could count on one hand the amount of minutes that I watched of NBA All-Star weekend. I didn't watch the new format game. I didn't see any of that stuff. I didn't watch any of the dunk competition. I did, go back retroactively and watch some on social because people were hyping up Mac McClung and his performance. So I did want to see at least a couple of the dunks. It was my first time ever that I can remember not watching. And it's not like I made like a conscious effort to not watch it, but I think once I realized I hadn't tuned in, I wasn't like going back to tune in late or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna DVR this. Like I'm okay with missing it.
I mean, listen, you didn't miss much. Let's be honest. I saw the start of the skills competition, which was actually to me the funniest thing of the entire weekend because Chris
Oh,
Paul,
with Wemby and Chris Paul cheating.
Chris Paul and Victor. Well, listen, I'm not going to say that they cheated. I will say that they did not. They
They
did not
skirted the
compete.
rules.
They did not compete within the spirit of the game. Is
Right.
the most that I will say. However, I personally respected the fact that they realized that the rules were stupid and that if you miss 3 shots, you get to move on to the next thing. It's like, well, shouldn't you have to make all the shots? Shouldn't you have to make at least one shot, right? Like why not just throw the ball at the rim?
Well, sometimes they penalize you for that. Like if you miss 3 shots, and they would
Exactly.
penalize you like 10 seconds.
It should
That's
add
what it should
time
be.
to your, yeah, it should add time. Like the
Yeah.
skills competition just kind of, the rules just kind of didn't make sense. Chris Paul and Wemby both realized that, and they said, all right, well, why don't we just run through this whole thing? So I kind of
Right.
liked it. I was like, oh wow, like they basically just said like this is dumb, so like let's just like skirt the rules. I didn't see the 3 point contest. I actually went out with a friend of mine to a bar, and we got to the bar. We were in Arlington, Virginia, and we get to the bar, and there's nothing but hockey on. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, one of these TVs got to have the All Star game on. And it didn't. It was just like nothing but hockey, like every TV. And it was kind of like, all right, does every TV need to be on the hockey game? But
That
Team
Four
USA
Nation shit was
can't do that.
lit. I'm not gonna hold you.
It was very good. It was very good.
The
And
Four
people were
Nation shit
very
was
into it.
lit.
People were very
Yeah.
into it. So we asked the guy, we're like, hey, can you put on TNT? He's like, what's on? And I was like, wow, that's not a good sign, Adam Silver.
Crazy.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, Saturday wasn't a ton to write home about. Mac McClung put on some good dunks. Stephon Castle put on some good dunks. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the flair that it used to have, which people say all the time, right? We get to Sunday, you know, anyone who actually cares about the NBA knows that the format was going to be a little bit different. So we're looking to see, okay, how's this format going to work? What's going to happen? You know, they got the Rising Stars facing off against one of the 3 teams. It was cool. Like there was it felt like it was a little energy that first game, right? But the issue was that they just had too many breaks in between. Now, shout out to this dude who Mr. Beast, I don't understand why he was involved, but Mr. Beast had some dude hit a half court shot and he won like $100,000. That was awesome. But like, then we had more breaks with Kevin Hart doing the PA announcement. Then they giving Chuck, Ernie, and Shaq autograph. It was just a lot going on. It was pretty rough. It was pretty
Stupid,
rough.
as
Yeah.
Draymond Green would say. It was stupid. I didn't like anything about the format. They were talking about like this round robin style tournament with 4 or 5 different teams. Like, I just want the All Star game to go back to what it was. It's never going to go back to what it was. What I do want is for it to return to being the NBA All Star game. But you have to get this thing back to being basketball. 2 of the sports that we love the most, the NFL and the NBA, their All-Star games are terrible. The football game has literally become flag football, which is ridiculous. And then the NBA All-Star game is basically a glorified layup line or a shoot-around drill, you know, and it's just dumb to me. I think you have to get back to it actually being a game, make them compete, make them play, do something. But the way that it is right now, it's not going to work. I'll say this about the dunk competition. And you know, again, shout out to Mac McClung, whose first dunk competition of the 3 straight that he won as a 76er. He was really a Delaware 87er, but we called him up for the dunk competition.
He's never actually been in the NBA. He may have like a couple 10 days, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he had like a couple 10-day contracts. He might have made an NBA bucket. But all of that is to say, this has to be the NBA Sprite Slam Dunk or whoever is, if it's like I don't know who's sponsoring it now, but like it has to be an NBA dunk competition. Like that's important. I have always banged the table that I needed at least one All-Star at every event. I think the problem is a lot of these players just take themselves a little too seriously. They're not willing to go and have fun.
I mean, I think that's part of it. The incentives, I think, are just different, right? And I was thinking about this earlier. How do you incentivize a bunch of dudes who make $40 million a year? But
you have to bring it to competition.
I don't know that that's an incentive because they're already competing 82 games a year. And I'm not saying that I like it. I'm just saying like it. Because I even thought about this. It's like, okay, well, maybe you give them more money, right? They make enough money, so
they
can't really
they don't
incentivize
need enough.
That. Yeah,
money worked for the in-season tournament and the way that they structured it around already scheduled regular season games. So really, you're only playing 2 extra games if you make it to the Vegas portion, and you're playing them in Vegas, and you're playing for $500,000. So like, no matter how rich you are, $500,000 sounds like a good time. Like, you guys are professional athletes. So there has to be a certain level of decorum that comes along with that. But you're able to make this amount of money because of the way that your sport has been covered and because of the large amount of ad revenue that has been poured into this sport year after year. It's only going up, and the contracts are only going to get more exorbitant and ridiculous. But you cannot lose that joy that you had for basketball. And I think that's what's being lost, is like no one is just enjoying playing basketball anymore. You know, when you go into the NBA, you have this player movement and this player empowerment. Well, these players are moving every 2 to 3 years. And contracts mean nothing because you can sign a 5-year deal and then be tired of it after 1 year and be like, I'm underpaid, or I don't like what's going on here. I want to be traded. And it's like, well, that contract that you just forced them to sign you to for 5 years, now you want out of that contract that you forced them to sign you to because you feel like you're underpaid. It's so aggravating for me as a fan of the sport of basketball to have so much time off, to have the ability. Like, I was free Saturday night. I could have watched the game. There was nothing to watch for the dunk competition. I want to watch a G Leaguer jump over a Kia. I don't care. I don't care. Mac McClung is going right back to the G League after this. That's what's happening. He's not going to go drop 30. He's not like a new, oh man, Mac McClung, let me go buy his jersey. Well, I hope the G League has a shot because you can't get his jersey anywhere else. He don't have an NBA jersey because he's not an NBA player. So like that's the thing. It doesn't put players on the map the way it's supposed to. Honestly, they could lose it and I wouldn't even care at this point.
See, when people say that, I disagree because I think you still need the All-Star game. But I hear you. I mean, obviously we want the competition to be better. I don't know that you're going to make the competition better by telling the guys like, hey, try harder. I mean, they've tried that. Adam Silver has come out and said these things regularly. I mean, the whole reason for them switching up the format was that they felt like they could, potentially shame the guys into playing harder by forcing them to play against lower level competition, which, I mean, it kind of worked. Like I said, the game against the Rising Stars, you could see that they were actually like trying on defense and, there was some level of extra motivation. What doomed this one was probably the logistics of, like I said, there were too many pauses. They're just trying to do too many extra things in between the games. And also just trying to follow the format is kind of weird. Personally, I think you could just go back to East versus West.
Changing the format into something that's not basketball, that's not NBA basketball specifically, is not a way to save the All-Star weekend. I think you just got to just draw a line in the sand and be like, look, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to roll the ball out there. And if you want to look dumb and if you want to disrespect the sport, we're going to expose you to disrespecting the sport. That's just the way that it goes. And if there are people that want to show up to the sport and then decide 3 hours before the game that they're not going to play, then we're going to not invite you to come next year because that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hey. Like, give me a break. I love LeBron James. I love LeBron James.
My man's done 22 of these.
I don't. Okay, then don't go. Then don't go. There's someone else that could have gone. There's someone else that it would have been an honor. You think Trae Young wasn't jilted by the fact that he had to get a second level invite? Like, oh damn, well somebody dropped out, so I guess you can go. Invite to the All-Star game when he leads the league in assists and he's having his best year as a pro.
Did you just ask me about Trae? You think I'm gonna feel sorry about Trae Young?
I'm just
of
saying,
all people.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I'm asking Nick Fan about you, but I'm just saying. I'm like, LeBron has been an ambassador and has carried the torch for this league with decorum, with grace, with honor for 2 full decades. And I do not care. That does not earn you a pass on media availability. It does not earn you a pass on being able to play. It does not earn you a pass on being scrutinized for in the 11th hour deciding to say very casually in a press conference, by the way, yeah, I'm not playing in the All-Star game. Like as if this was just a load management situation, That's most of the people bought tickets to go and see one of the last All-Star games from a 40-year-old All-Star who didn't get like honorarily voted in or wasn't playing on some shitty Wizards team with a beer belly and rolled his way in, Michael Jordan. He played his way in.
Yeah.
He earned his way in. He is still one of the best players in the NBA at 40, which is either a boost of him or an indictment of the league. I'm not sure which one it is right now, but for him to just show up and then decide last minute that he's not going to play or participate in the game, and then he wasn't there for media availability because the NBA has decided to give him kind of carte blanche over the availability that he has during the weekend. It's like, why go? Just go to like Santorini, Greece or something with your family. Go enjoy the 10 days off.
He probably
wanted then do that.
But
he should have done that.
I think I agree with you. Obviously, him being an ambassador, you would hope that he would just do the stuff that he's done every single year that he's been a pro and made the All-Star team. At the same time, I think it's good that he didn't do that because it points to me, it puts the spotlight on the younger guys, right? Like this is a young man's game. Puts the spotlight on the younger guys. Like you guys got to start carrying the torch, right? Like I'm 40. Like I can't, it can't be LeBron, Steph, and KD all the time. These young guys got to start carrying the torch. So to me, if LeBron, Steph, and KD aren't motivated, I think we could probably give them a pass. The rest of y'all don't have y'all don't have that. That
But
pass.
you're
Like you guys got if three dudes aren't like giving their all, the rest of y'all who have young legs and good knees, y'all should be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
So
to
then
me,
let the young these good athlete young niggas
yeah,
go and represent their team on All-Star weekend,
yeah,
and you stay your 40-year-old ass at home. Do not accept the invite. Pull your name from the vote. Like for him to go there and then be like, "Well, I'm doing my team a disservice." Like don't give me the crap where like you thought you were going to do treatment. You weren't in fucking the Bay Area doing treatment to get your ankle ready for the All-Star game. You knew you weren't going to play and you decided to wait because you didn't want it to overshadow anything else that was going on in this weekend, and maybe you thought that was the right move. It wasn't. You're setting a bad precedent for everyone else because you are the guy that they look to, even at 40, even on your way out of the league, even on the downturn of your career. You are still somebody that people look towards for leadership. Like, it's never been an issue for LeBron to play. He always plays. That's where this emotion comes from for me, because that's not what he does.
yeah.
So to see him do this is just such a wrong move. I don't like it. It's just a bad move for me. But he doesn't care what I think about it, and he shouldn't. You know what I mean? He's a millionaire. He don't give a shit. So that's just that'll be the end of that. Moving on to the last main topic before we get into our dad rules is Marvel. So we're not going to spoil the movie. I'm still not sure if you've seen Captain America. What I did want to ask you, have you seen the movie, first of all? Did
I
you
have
see the
not
Captain
seen
America
it.
movie? Okay.
I've been
okay.
calling it Black Captain America, by the way.
Me too, because I
the name
keep
of it.
forgetting the tagline after the Captain America, like it's Born Again or Captain America, something brave,
Yeah.
Born in the Brave, something.
Might as well be.
Whatever it is. Black Captain America is that's honestly what they should have called it.
Not that they
But
couldn't because of DEI.
yes. Does Marvel have a black hero problem? Is this more of an indictment? Because the early word coming out is that it's just not good. One of the bottom 3 or 4 Marvel movies to come out, from what people have been saying. I personally think it was fine, but if you're going to be paying $20 to go see a movie, I need more than just fine. So, I would have been fine to let this come out on Disney Plus.
That is a disappointing. I've heard similar comments from people.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say does Marvel have a black hero problem, I would need to know exactly what the black hero problem is, because are you saying they don't write their black characters well enough?
Well, the
they don't
Marvel
invest enough in the
Cinematic
story?
Universe, it was built on the shoulders of Blade, that allowed them to kind of go back into their catalog and realize that there was a market for these superhero movies on Marvel slate, because before that it was just like Superman and Batman. It was DC running the movie show. Yeah. Ironically enough, the Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali that I was super excited about, like it seems like a decade ago when they announced that was going to be a move that they made. They even teased them at the end of the Eternals. The Blade movie keeping getting shelved. The tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, which no one was prepared for, no one can prepare for, and trying to replace the mantle of Black Panther, and then with this Falcon becoming Black Captain America, it seems like they don't have a lot of bullets in the chamber, and the ones that they have used have backfired on them.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't speak on this movie specifically. I mean, I thought Black Panther, especially at the time, and I've heard some people do revisionist history on it, but there's no question for me personally at the time, it was like an event, right? It was such an event, and I think there's this idea that like everything was supposed to live up to that, right? Like all the stuff that went into it. You had an amazing director. You had all of these top-notch actors. Every movie that Marvel makes with black characters or centered around a black hero is always going to be chasing that, and that's kind of tough. on top of the fact that they're all chasing those, early phases of the Marvel universe in the Infinity era. I don't know that I would say that they have a black superhero problem, because Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't great. Like we talked about Doctor Strange and the multiverse, that was terrible. All respect to the Marvels, but like I remember watching that thinking like, did I miss 25 minutes of this movie? Like I feel like there was something missing in this plot. Like, what happened? So I don't know that it's a black specific thing, but obviously we want, to feel the same way that we felt when we went into that first Black Panther movie.
It just seems like to me that since losing Chadwick Boseman and since trying to move Sam Wilson's character into more of a forefront type of role, it just seems like they haven't been able to develop a strong black character for people that look like you and me. Like I remember going to the movie theater, like you said, like when the first Black Panther came out, me and a couple of my friends went to the movie theater. There were people in dashikis, there were people with their afros out and the pics in there. There were people just like so excited. The movie was unapologetically black. It had sprinkles of the culture, but it didn't feel too ham-handed for me, when you go there. So you had the cultural jokes, but it didn't feel like a white person wrote them. They were layered in. So shout out to Ryan Coogler and his staff for making sure that we felt represented through and through. And I think they knocked that out of the park. And since then, it's just been a series of tragedies and a comedy of errors. And it just seems like to me that there's no light at the end of the tunnel right now. I'm not going to say there's no hope, because there's always hope for something to pop up. You never know where that's going to happen. But right now, it does not seem like there is a black character for people like us to turn to.
I mean, well, for one, like you said, the Blade movie, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I don't understand. Like, how many times can you rewrite the script? It's like just, and maybe that proves the point that like it's not good enough. And Mahershala Ali or whoever is saying like, hey, this isn't good enough. It's like, nah, we need to keep going back to the drawing board. I would hope that that's not the case. But if it is the case, then yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a million people who would want to be involved with Marvel and putting together, some of these movies. So you should be hopefully attracting the best talent out there. Granted, there was a whole writer strike, so
right, exactly.
that was probably for
We're grading it on the curve.
Yeah. And of course, I think there's a lot of people who are probably tired of the whole Marvel, like, it's like, oh, how many superhero movies can we make, right? But I think what made Black Panther great was that it wasn't just a superhero movie. I mean, I saw that movie with my mother-in-law. She could probably care less about
she does
the
not
Marvel
give a damn
aspect
about Marvel
of it,
comics.
but there was a pride in watching this movie, like you said, like people in there with the shikis, like, and looking back, I'm sure people would be like, it's a little over the top, right? Whatever, but like people were into it, and yeah, I think you need to be able to create that feeling of being into it, or just get really just better writers. I mean, like I said, there's been some Marvel movies where I'm sitting there thinking like, have I missed something? But, like we said, they've been living up to what was an amazing run to start off, the sort of launch of this franchise or these franchises. And it's hard to keep that momentum, right? But I do think that there are some fundamentals that probably have been lost along the way. I will say this. I liked, if we're talking about black specific stories, this wasn't the movie, but the Secret Invasion. I thought that was really great, actually. And Sam Jackson, obviously, it's Sam Jackson. To me, there was a lot of good stuff in there.
There were things to like about Secret Invasion. Sam Jackson, principal among them, for sure. And I mean, who doesn't love seeing Emilia Clarke on screen? I mean, we started off the podcast talking about Yakub, so it's elite milk there. But I just I'm here for it. Khaleesi, I am one of the leaders of the Khaleesi clan, so I'm here for it. No, I do hope that there's a turnaround coming. I was hopeful for a Black Captain America coming out during Black History Month, that this would strike the right chords. It did not, but I still encourage people to go see it. It's still technically the number one movie in America because it's a Marvel movie, so it's just automatically guaranteed to make $100 million.
Yeah. I'll say this too. The unfortunate thing is that like no matter what, someone's always going to hate something. So
100%.
You kind of have to fight against that a little bit, where it's like, even if it was really good, right? Like if it did hit the marks, someone's going to be like, this sucked. you're not going to please everyone. You got to figure out which audience you actually do want to please and target that audience. And maybe they just targeted the wrong audience. From the people I've talked to, they did not target any black people that I know. So
Yeah, didn't seem like it. We like to talk about our dad rules, and it's a segment that is near and dear to both of our hearts as new dads. Do we pass down our fandom? Is it nature or nurture? Is it something we do intentionally? Will Coleman just see you rooting for the Yankees and all of a sudden don the evil empire hat? Or is there a chance that maybe he might slip over to the dark side? I got a red B hat for him if he wants one.
I will burn. As soon as it crosses the threshold of my residence, it will be burned. This is a great question. This is a phenomenal question. So he's 8 months this week, right? In his life, he's already, before he was even born, he had the pleasure through the womb of hearing me cheer for my beloved New York Knickerbockers as Dante DiVincenzo, the big ragu, hit that phenomenal shot in the playoffs against your beloved Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, I felt that was coming. I should have seen that coming.
he's had the pleasure of seeing his dad's beloved New York Yankees make the World Series. I don't remember what happened after they made the World Series.
No?
But not quite sure what happened. I think
who's on first?
I don't.
Not Garrett Cole.
I don't recall what happened. I think the Yankees just lost. I think they stole it from us.
Huh?
That's what happened.
Right.
And unfortunately, the Giants are just a laughable franchise. I wouldn't even say laughable because I don't laugh. It's actually very frustrating. I'm passionate about basketball. I'm passionate about my Yankees. I think those two will definitely get passed down. To me, football, I think you pick up on whoever's just really good, especially the younger kids. Like, I think they're just going to pick up on whoever's popping at the time, whoever's the hot quarterback, right? Like, I don't see how any kid growing up in the last 10 years would be a fan of any other team than the Chiefs, because that's who's been killing.
That's what it was like for me growing up watching basketball. Like, a lot of my family members thought I was just going to be a Bulls fan because they were always on and I was always rooting for Michael Jordan. But the player that resonated with me was Allen Iverson. I was like, oh, what team does he play for? 76ers. And I was like, well, I guess that's my team. I get a lot of crap for the teams that I've chosen because a lot of people feel like your favorite team should also be like the team that was of your region. So that would make me a Patriots/Celtics fan. And I just refuse. Even saying those words makes me want to vomit. I did decide to go with the Red Sox because if you're going to, root for America's pastime, I was like, fine, I'll just go regional because it was just easier to watch Red Sox games than try and find another team.
That was the whole reason.
Yeah, like it really was. Like I remember
you didn't read
specifically
no history books on like their history.
No, I was like 11. No, if I would have read the history, I probably as the last team to integrate. It's like, ugh, damn. This is off to a rough start. For me, it was more so about. I've always been like an underdog guy for the most part. I think for Arya, I can't even count honestly how many times I have looked her dead in her beautiful eyes and just said, I'm not going to allow you to follow any of the teams that I follow. I want you to just be in Atlanta sports. Just be an Atlanta sportsman.
Wow.
Because I know the pain that comes behind it. I know the pain. And I hope she's like her mother. It just doesn't even really care about sports. Like Jasmine understands what's going on in sports, but like I don't think she has like a favorite team or anything for any sports. She likes her alma mater, Longwood, but I couldn't tell you what her NBA team was. That's why we work so well, because I'm a psychopath when it comes to my teams, and like I just can't. The most peace I have had this whole winter is deciding to not watch the 76ers. It took a week for me to make this decision, by the way. It was like a week into the season. I think we were like 1-3 or 1-4, and I was like, nope. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. You're not gonna get me. Arya did has had the displeasure of watching me run the gamut of emotions really during a playoff run with the 76ers, in which I saw them almost come back in that series against Boston and then not come back and all that. It was a brutal time. It was a very brutal time. I'm not proud of the man that I was in those times.
Hey man, I'm proud of you for even saying that you want her to root for Atlanta sports teams, which are like not that much better. Like,
I think I'm more interested in the teams she doesn't root for.
Yeah.
Like that's me. You're not allowed to be a Carolina fan. I will not pay for you to go to Howard University.
Damn.
And you can't be a Yankees fan. Yeah, that my money's not going to Howard University. Like in no way, shape, or form. It's not going to happen. So if you want to go to Howard, that's fine. I love you. And I will show up for you in any way possible. I just not financially. So you better get a full scholarship. If you're gonna go to Howard, you better get a full ride, or that FAFSA is going in your name. I have to keep repeating it because I think Jasmine thinks I'm joking when I say it, but like no, I'm very serious, very serious. Like I'm not doing it. Like I feel like if she chose to attend Howard University, she'd be doing it to spite me, and like that I cannot abide.
I kind of want to see how this plays out.
With my luck,
She's
early action. Howard.
My boy's gonna be a Yankees fan. That's Yankees and Knicks.
I'm
That's
sorry
all
for
I can hope
that.
for.
I'm so sorry, Coleman. It's okay. You can come to Uncle Aaron's house if you want to sneak that Boston bean hat. You know what I'm saying? I got something for you, bro.
Yuck.
I got that for you, bro.
Yuck.
I don't
Win
think
is
so.
only over here. You know what I'm saying?
The Red Sox are coming back, man. I bet the Red Sox win a World Series before the Yankees win. I mean, we've already won more since 2000 than you guys.
How many have we won in the entirety of the franchise?
How many have we won since we've been alive? It's even. I think it's 4-4 since we have been alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're even. We're not talking about before we were even allowed to vote.
No, we are talking
those
about it because those count too.
Don't count. No, they don't.
What are you talking about?
As a matter of fact, they don't. They wouldn't even let your black ass in the fucking Yankee Stadium.
Listen, neither of us played for the teams when they won the 4 or prior to the 4. So what difference does it make? Those count too. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
You didn't get to root for those championships.
It adds
First
to
of
the
all,
mystique.
Babe Ruth was hitting home runs off of like chain smoking construction workers, okay? He never had to face a fucking 12-6 curveball. He never had to face a 98 mile an hour two seam fastball up in the chin. So I'm not hearing that. Matter of fact, we gave you Babe Ruth for fucking play tickets, okay?
Thank you.
Fuck Babe Ruth.
Thank you.
You know who's better than Babe Ruth? Literally every player on the Red Sox right now.
Okay.
Every one of them.
How many championships does the Yankee have?
Hey, listen, I'm not worried.
Can you just tell me
how many? I don't know. You didn't win one this year. That's what I do know. We both ended up with no hardware, so we're even. You wasted all that time getting all the way to the World Series just to lose, just like we did.
Wasted time. Okay, all right. So winning,
yeah,
wasted
you did.
time.
We went home early. When the Red Sox get to the World Series, we win. We don't lose.
Okay.
You lost to the Diamondbacks. You lost to the Dodgers. I think you have a third loss in there somewhere. No, the Marlins too.
The
Marlins.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're definitely beating us in World Series losses. So, congratulations.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Shout out to y'all.
We're not going to apologize for being good. That's what we're not going to do.
Oh,
we're not going
good
to
teams
apologize
lose?
for making
Is
the
that
playoffs every single season.
This just in, people. Listeners of the No Rules podcast, good teams lose, apparently, according to Malik Smith. This direct quote.
Good teams losing the championship.
That's at Travis Abaz on all social media platforms, by the way.
All right. So my dad rule. This is actually a fairly new one that I just threw in after this past weekend. I was actually saying to a friend of mine, I was getting a little cocky. I was like, we were out this weekend. We were hanging out with friends and family down in the DMV area. And my friend was like, "Oh, what time are you leaving tomorrow?" I was like, Shannon wants to get up early. I'm out, I'm hanging out, having beers, chilling with the guys. Like, just want to chill, just want to have a good time. Like, we'll get home when we get home. That was a terrible decision. Guys, get out of there. Get out of there at the butt crack of dawn. Get on the road, even with your child. Just don't even wash the kid. Just throw him in the back. You know what I'm saying? Throw all your stuff in the trunk and just get up out of there. We did the black goodbye. I mean, we did the whole thing. We had breakfast. We didn't leave until like 12:30. Bruh, I was driving.
Oh, y'all tripping
through traffic, coming home.
The whole trip?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
You caught traffic the whole trip. You literally left at the worst time.
Yeah, it was not good. We almost left my son's food. Like, we stopped at Starbucks and she was like, "Oh, should we feed him now?" And I was like, yeah, I guess we should." And I was like, pretty sure I left that bag right in the kitchen. So we had to turn back around, go get it was bad. It was bad.
I'll extend it to this. Anytime you're traveling with your kid, even if it's just to school, like my daughter goes to daycare now, even when it's going to daycare, like I always take the opportunity to pack her bag for daycare the night before. It's like whatever I can get out of the way before hand, that's when I'm going to. Beforehand, that's what I do.
No, we were packed. We were packed. Listen, man. I was out till 1:00 in the morning. You think I'm gonna get up at 7?
Yes.
Nah, dog.
You have to.
I don't sleep enough already.
Get up 1 in the morning.
I need to sleep.
Get you a Red Bull. You sleep when you get home. Sleep in your own bed. That needs to be the motivation. You need to be motivated by your own bed. You know, your own pillows that you've broken in over time. Yeah. You know, that's what you need to be motivated by. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there.
Nah.
Listen, man.
I mean, yes.
You turn into a pumpkin. At midnight on Sunday morning, you turn into a pumpkin. That's what happens. No matter what trip you're on, when you bring the kid with you, midnight on travel day, you turn into like super dad mode. We're just like, hey, everybody pack your bags up. Let's go. We got to get on the road.
My crew. We out of here. Yeah.
Let's throw the bags in the car and make sure we have everything. Let's go through the checklist twice. We're not saying no black goodbye. We give you an Irish goodbye. I'll text you when I'm on the road. Oh, damn. Yeah. I missed you. I'll see you later. I'll catch you next time. FaceTime when we get back to the crib or something.
Yeah. That's the type of time I'm about to be on next time. Because this last, I was like, nah, this is.
You got to get out of Dodge, man.
Terrible decision.
No. And now you have the perfect excuse because, you know, Coleman's young still. You know what I mean? He's like when they get to like 5 or 6, you can't make that. They can speak for themselves. Like, I'm not tired. You're like, shut up. You're tired.
Get your ass.
Right now, he gets. You know, right now we don't have that excuse. Right now, you know, we speak for them. Yeah. Arya's trying to say some words, but it's mostly like jibber jabber. Like she get a few words down pat.
Some
stuff solid?
Which one of you two is the baby translator?
It's probably more Jasmine. She spends more time with her, so she gets a little bit more of a keen insight to what she's saying. But I will say I'm pretty good at picking it up. But every now and again, she'll hit you with a and she'll look at you like, you know what I just said, so now go do it. And I'm just
just be like,
yep. It's honestly like when her mother like tells me stuff. It's like, you remember when I told you? And it's like, she definitely told me this, but I hit her with the Charlie Brown when she was telling me in the moment, like, wah, 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 wah. And I don't know. Like, now my feet to the fire, and I don't know what's going to do. Like, shit. Like, I just hope that I guess right in this scenario, because if I get wrong, it's going to get real ugly.
Let me just go do the laundry. Maybe that was it.
Yo, bro, I'm telling you.
Wash the dishes.
When in doubt, just clean something. If I don't know what the hell I said, you know, I was gonna do it, what I agreed to, whatever it is. Yo, like, when in doubt, I just start cleaning shit. Like, hey, wait. Hey, babe, I cleaned the shower. Like, you know,
just clean the whole bathroom.
Give me a cookie now. You know,
it's like, yo,
I cleaned the whole house, but I did the shower though. Yeah, all the other 150,000 square feet of this house you cleaned, but the 10 square feet of the shower, I did that. Me, look at it. Look how clean that shower is. You ain't never seen a shower that's clean.
Son. Now that's real game, because that is definitely what I'd be doing. I'd be like, she'd be like, do you remember what I said? Like, yeah.
You gotta give it the squint and the look up. Like, yeah. I just got.
Like you're trying to find.
How did you say it again? Yeah. Can you spell it? Hey man, we're human. We're still the prize though. If you learned anything from today, it's men need Valentine's gifts too. You know, we need Valentine's gifts too.
Seriously though,
for real. Get that Rolex.
It's not an extra birthday for y'all.
It's leak time.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do. You'd be like, yo, Dame Lillard, my new favorite player. Until you get that Rolex, just start tapping your wrist every time you walk by Shannon. You know,
she gonna pull up with a Tissot. I'm be like, I guess this will do. It's the official watch of the NBA.
You would get like one of them Rugrats Burger King watches.
Hey, that's actually
with Reptar on that.
Yo, come on, man. Yeah. That would be dope. That'd be kind of tough.
That would be dope. I mean, if you could even find one of those that works.
The Burger King joint?
You was in the trench. Yeah. I mean, you was in the trenches. You had to get like 3 Happy Meals to get the right one. So shout out to you. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody, man. We love all of you guys, man. So happy to be back rocking with you guys. It's been another episode of the No Rules Podcast. Peace.